Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited to bring you this video because I am going to be talking about Hotel California. This is the Mobile Fidelity One Step. This is one of those records I have been looking forward to for so long. They announced they were doing the Eagles discography, and yes, I've enjoyed every step of the way, but secretly I have been highly anticipating Hotel California. So I'm going to tell you about what I think of the sound quality of this one step compared to other copies that I already have. I also want to share with you the memories. This record is sentimental. This one means so much to me, and I have so many memories attached to it. So I want to talk about that as well. First off, just look how beautiful this is. I believe that this box is a little bit of a different texture. It doesn't seem to take on fingerprints. It looks beautiful. I love it. This is a promotional copy. Thank you to Mobile Fidelity for sending it my way. I've been able to listen to it several times and enjoy it, compare it to my other copies, and I want to talk about it. But let's go ahead and show you what's in this one step. First off, you get 2 LPs. They are on their super vinyl formula. If you hold it up to the light, you can see through it. It's transparent. And to me, as of today, I think it is the best formula in the business for quiet vinyl. I think they've nailed it. Now that old JVC Japanese vinyl that they had back in the 70s and 80s is awesome too. It was dead silent, and I think this is also really, really good. Also, they put in the insert that gives you all of the credits and all of the thank yous and acknowledgments, as well as who wrote each song and who performs what, so you know exactly who sings the vocals, who performs on each instrument. Fantastic. Also with the Ultra Disc, they show exactly the mastering chain and all the information about that with Mobile Fidelity. Also a very, very cool insert of what the album cover looks like, what the gatefold of the originals looks like, the back. You even get the poster, and it's in the proper size, and I think this poster is very, very interesting. You cannot tell me that every member of the Eagles is even remotely sober, especially Don Felder here. Look at that. It's weird when Joe Walsh looks like the most sober person in the picture. You know something's a little off. But anyway, it's a fun poster. It came with the originals, and Mobile Fidelity gives you that as well. Here are what the LPs are put in, and I think that's what makes a lot of this box set so special. You get gold foiled, all of the beautiful titles of all of the great songs. It's just a gorgeous packaging. A lot of people say it's not necessary, but I think Hotel California deserves it. So I think it's gorgeous and I really like it. So before I talk about the sound quality, let me share some memories of what Hotel California means to me. You know, we have to go back to the year of 1977, and okay, I'll admit it, I'm an older lady. I was 7 years old when this album came out. I can tell you that I remember everything about the summer of 1977. This came out in February, but it was a huge hit and a DJ favorite. It was over 6 minutes long, perfect for a DJ to go out and have a cigarette break, play Hotel California. So no doubt that probably played a part in why we heard that song in the summer of 77 so much, but it is embedded in my memory because of it. I cannot hear Hotel California or Dreams by Fleetwood Mac from the album Rumors without going back to my summer of 1977. And to give you some perspective, yes, I was a little girl growing up in a really small town. We did not have air conditioning, so our windows were up and the fans were on all the time. I don't remember being hot. You know, it was comfortable. And it wasn't uncommon to not have air conditioning in that time. And I can remember hearing my friends, they didn't even knock on the door. They would just go to my window and holler in because the window was open. Hey, Melinda, you want to come out and play? And I remember me and my sister going out and playing with all of our friends, the neighborhood kids. We would play Star Wars. That was a big movie that was out in 1977. I hadn't seen it yet. It took another year before I got to see it. But from all the clips and from what all of my friends said, I thought I knew enough about it to play Star Wars out in my friend's yard and have a great time. I also have vivid memories when I hear Hotel California or Dreams of us playing, and all of a sudden we would hear a faint sound, and it would be the ice cream truck. And every once in a while, it would make it into our neighborhood. We would hear that music of the ice cream truck. We would stop what we were doing. We would run to our parents and beg for money. And every once in a while, my mom would give me and my sister 15 cents each. It didn't buy us the ultimate popsicle we wanted, but we were able to get that ice cream sherbet with that gumball at the bottom of the ice cream. And yes, we had to keep it in our mouths for a while before we could chew it because it was frozen solid. But, you know, when I hear Hotel California, I can still smell the diesel fuel of the ice cream truck when we were behind it and he opened his doors and he took our money and gave us our treats. And then we would sit and eat that ice cream. It was just an amazing time. I'm so glad that I grew up when I did. It was wonderful. So when I say that Hotel California and this release means the world to me, it literally does. It brings back the great memories. It brings back the sadness. It brings back all of the emotions. And isn't that what music is all about? So let's go ahead and talk about this one step. I want to show you the other copies of this record I already own. I already own the 1984 version from Mobile Fidelity. I also own a first pressing, a Japanese version of this record. Now, I did have an original, first off, from a US pressing. But once I got this one, I don't remember why. I just know the sound quality of this one was better. Maybe it was because my original had been played a lot and had pops and clicks. I don't really know. But when I first got this one, it took my breath away. I thought it was great. I also thought this Mobile Fidelity one, when this was gifted to me, by the way, by a viewer named Brian. Brian, if you happen to see this video, thank you so much. I have enjoyed this tremendously. This is great. You know, I have 2 great copies of that record already, so I was thinking, can Mobile Fidelity really best this? And I've been playing those 2 versions for a while now, awaiting this one step. So how does this Mobile Fidelity One Step stack up against 2 great sounding records? I'm not going to beat around the bush, you guys. I can't. I'm absolutely, unbelievably stoked. This is absolutely amazing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, you guys. This might be the release of the year for me. So good. I put the first song on, of course, is titled Hotel California, the title song, the biggie. You can't get that one wrong. And within the first few notes, of course, we're talking about with the song Hotel California, Don Felder, those chord progressions that he wrote, the first minute of the song, truly all Don Felder. He would have a way of doing things where he would play different hooks, different chord progressions, different things, and he would put them on a tape, and then he would send them to other bandmates. And I remember hearing Glenn Frey talk about this. He said that he put on one of those tapes that that Don Felder would send him, and all of a sudden he started hearing this chord progression on this one for what became Hotel California. He said he heard it, and all of a sudden that one was the one he's like, this is interesting. And from there, Don Henley and Glenn Frey wrote the lyrics, and some interesting lyrics, wouldn't you say? A mysterious song. And I remember hearing Don Henley in an interview saying, he's very vague about what it means. He wants it to mean what you want it to mean. He doesn't want to tell you what it means. He just says it's about innocence going into experience. That's how he describes it. And as a little girl, hearing the lyrics of Hotel California, I remember it being very mysterious to me too. And I had a friend who my mom would babysit, and he was my age, and he would point over to a pond that we lived nearby, and he would always say, I saw a Bigfoot over there the other day. And I remember looking over there thinking, nah, he didn't hear anything or he didn't see anything, but what if he did? And I would be transfixed at looking at that pond. And that's the way I felt about the lyrics of Hotel California when I was a little girl. Okay, so a lot about that. Such a historic song. And the minute I put on the One Step, it is a 45 RPM. And I heard Don Felder's chord progression, minute long, leading into Don Henley telling the story. It hit me immediately. Wow, okay, this sounds different. It sounds more natural, unbelievable. And Don Henley sounds great. He tells the beautiful story. I think the bass is awesome on this. I mean, just really, really good. And I love the part where Don Felder and Joe Walsh are kind of having a little bit of a competition. Don Felder plays something and Joe Walsh is like, oh yeah, we'll take this. And then Don Felder's like, oh yeah, take that. And then there comes these drums, and it comes to this huge climax where they start playing dually together. And on this One Step, you guys, oh my gosh, I've never heard it the way I hear it on here. I did not know that they could improve the other records that I already owned. I could not believe my ears. So the song Hotel California is dynamite on the One Step. And then we move into New Kid in Town, and Glenn Frey sings that one. And Glenn Frey has said in interviews, Don Henley has the voice. He's better. And I would hear this on this One Step and think, okay, Glenn Frey, I don't know about that. You're pretty good too. You sound amazing. And then at the end of New Kid in Town, that's really a highlight for me because the harmonies come in. They're bringing the song home. It's beautiful. And on the One Step, wow, especially that ending. The whole thing is great. But when you hear that ending and how the ending goes, it's so incredible. And then we get into the amazing song Life in the Fast Lane. And there was a test. I'll be honest with you. There was a test that I wanted for that song. And the incredible story behind that, there's two different things going on with Life in the Fast Lane. First off, you get where they were at her rehearsal one day, and Joe Walsh is doing a finger warm-up for his guitar. And Glenn Frey's like, whoa, what are you playing? And he said, I'm just practicing, just warming up my fingers. And Glenn Frey's like, we got to use that. That's an amazing hook. And Joe Walsh was like, it's all yours. Now, I'm paraphrasing. Obviously, I'm not saying exactly what they said, but that's the gist of it. And then Glenn Frey said that the song title was totally inspired by him in a car with his drug dealer. He's honest. He was with a drug dealer. The drug dealer's going 90 miles an hour, and Glenn Frey's like, what are you doing? Scaring him to death. And that drug dealer looks at Glenn Frey and says, life in the fast lane. And Glenn Frey immediately like, okay, that is a great title for a song. So you get the Joe Walsh hook, and you get the title, and then the song is written by them. And it's incredible. It tells an interesting story. But that intro into life in the fast lane, yes, you get that incredible Joe Walsh, what he called his warm-up for his fingers to play the guitar becomes this incredible hook. But what is underneath that hook is what I'm talking about. It's that bass, it's that drums, it boom, 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 boom. You have to feel it. And I'll admit, it sounded really good on this 1984 MoFi version. It's very, very good. But come on, you guys. It takes a whole nother life on this one step. So, I mean, that intro to Life in the Fast Lane is unbelievably good. And it's so great. And then you hear Don Henley start singing, and you're already thinking, well, you know, Glenn Frey, you sound really, really good. And then you hear Don Henley like, okay, yeah, he's the pro. It's up to you. What's your style? Do you like Glenn Frey singing, or do you like Don Henley singing? They're both great. But yes, I think Don Henley's probably the best vocalist in the band. That's just my opinion. We go into the song Wasted Time, where I think Don Henley proves he is the true singer of the band. Wow. This is so beautiful. You need that super vinyl to be dead quiet, because there's a lot of quiet parts in that song. Don Henley sounds so beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's a part where he's just singing by himself, and it's so beautiful. And it's captured great. And Don Henley's voice never sounded more natural than it does on this one step. So unbelievable. So then we move on to the second disc, and we get the Wasted Time reprise. And it's orchestral, and it is drop dead gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It sounds like a symphony is playing in my living room. I'm just so excited. And then boom, here comes that bombastic Victim of Love. And wow, this is probably one of the nails in the coffin for the Eagles, if I'm being honest with you, because Don Felder helped write that song, and he performed the vocals, and he recorded them. And without his knowledge, Glenn Frey and Don Henley went kind of behind his back, and Don Henley recorded those vocals over. I guess they just heard Don Felder's, and they're like, nope, that's not going to happen. Don Henley does deliver. It's a great song. The original, the intro is bombastic. It's louder. It's bigger. It's just shocking that they could best some of these. It was unbelievable, and it's so good. After Victim of Love, we get into Pretty Maids in a Row, and I have a huge soft spot for Joe Walsh. His performance on Life in the Fast Lane and the song Life's Been Good to Me So Far, so many of his hits have put him in my top 5 of best guitarists, I should say favorite guitarists of all time. He's one of my favorites. It's hard to pick a best, but he is a favorite for me. He sings Pretty Maids all in a row. And no, he is not the vocalist that Don Henley is. He's probably not even the vocalist Glenn Fry is. But he sings with such a sincerity. And it's a beautiful rendition of that song. I love it. And they made his vocals sound like a dream. It's beautiful. It's really a great song. And then we move on to Try and Love Again. I'll be honest, out of all of the songs, that might be my weakest link. And yet, on this Mobile Fidelity One Step, I love it. Randy Meisner. And I think it probably takes on even a little bit more of a appreciation. We just recently lost Randy Meisner. He sings this quite beautifully. It's gorgeous. He has that high vocals that he can reach. He's got a beautiful timbre in his voice. It's fantastic. He sounds great, and the harmonies are beautiful. So really, really wonderful. Then we move on to the final song, another masterpiece in this masterpiece of an album, The Last Resort, sung by Don Henley. It's a little bit of a political song. It's about protecting the land that they love, keeping things natural. And his vocals, I'm telling you, they sound so natural. He sounds great on every version of Hotel California I've ever heard of, but never more natural than on this One Step. And he delivers and tells that story. And thank goodness for the super vinyl formula, because at some point in that song, it gets dead silent and there's just a little bit of a piano music, and it's so moving and it sounds so good. And then they also get into the ending. He takes it home. What incredible song. I mean, you guys, this is a masterpiece. And I know a lot of you think, I've heard Hotel California a million times. Well, so have I. But the memories and the music are very, very special to me. And you guys, oh my gosh, this is truly the best version that I have ever heard. I love it. I absolutely love it. And if you can swing it and you've thought about buying it, get it. It's so unbelievably good. Thank you to Mobile Fidelity. Thank you, Krieg Wunderlich. He mastered this. Unbelievable. I don't know how he did it. It's so incredible. I really love it. It's so good. I just cannot tell you enough how excited I am about this release. Been waiting a long time. You guys, the wait was worth it. So again, if you enjoyed listening to me talk and share my memories of Hotel California and my review, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Mobile Fidelity for this release. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.